I took a bus from Johannesburg, South Africa to Harare, Zimbabwe, and I leave to regret it. Right. So here's the little story that happened. Um, I was taking a bus from Pretoria to Harare, but then the bus comes from Johannesburg and it goes all the way through Pretoria to Harare. So what they normally do is they start getting passengers from Pretoria, from Johannesburg, and then after getting passengers from Johannesburg, then they come through Pretoria and then they collect the other passengers. So we were told that the bus was going to leave around 2 in the afternoon. So I got to the station. If you know Pretoria, you know the station there. There'll be buses ranking there. So I paid my ticket, and then I was waiting for the bus. I waited, and then it was 2 p.m. Where's the bus? I was only carrying a small suitcase because I didn't have a lot, so I was just carrying a small suitcase, and then I wasn't supposed to get to Harare. I was supposed to drop off um in Bridge. That's where I'm from. So I was telling them, okay, I'm just going to get to the border, right? And then after I get off the border, then I'll just leave. So I told my parents, I'm like, okay, I'm going to board the bus. I bought my ticket. They said they're going to leave at 2 p.m. Hey, 2 p.m. There's nothing. 3 p.m. There's nothing. 4 p.m. There's nothing. And remember, you will not be refunded your money back. So we had to wait for the bus. So 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., there's nothing. Literally nothing. 6 p.m., nothing. 7, that's when the bus came in. And already we I think 5 hours behind, so we had to wait for the passengers to get inside. They started loading the bus, and then after that um they then loaded the bus. So they were not the maximum number of people that are supposed to be in the bus. There were a few people that were in the bus, but the bus had a lot of luggage, like things that was going, the goods that were going to Zimbabwe. So we had a lot of luggage, like groceries that were inside the bus that were being sent home. So I think the other thing was the issue of timing, because if I'm not mistaken, it really happened during the festive seasons. So it was the issue of timing, and people were sending groceries back home. So the bus was packed with a lot of groceries and a few passengers. So what they did was they would put the groceries in the passage, like in the passage there where you're supposed to walk through. So whenever we get to a service station, like in the garage where we can fill up the tank, we had to jump. Like, you have to stretch your leg so that you go outside, and then when you come back in, you still have to do the same thing. So I really regretted the whole experience because I wanted something that was really comfortable. I wanted something that I would really enjoy, but I didn't enjoy. Number one, because of the time. They told us that they're leaving at 2, but they didn't leave at 2. They left later on, 5 hours later. And then we got inside the bus on our way, and it was a late at night. So they're now telling us, hey, Babereki, you have to put more money because already Zimra itianetsa kumberuku. And I'm like, but I don't even have anything that has to pay for anything else more than what I already calculated. Because kanjani nje, kanjani? How? Okay, fine. We then we then go on, and then they're like, Babereki, you should pay more money because of Zimra. If you want us to go, then we'll have to pay more money because of Zimra. And I'm like, Zimra what? Because I don't have any package. So we refused to pay. And then they will start, they were now shouting like, yeah, you should pay money. And I'm like, no, this is not the agreement that we had when we boarded the bus, because we gave you the money for the ticket. Whatever that you're asking for right now is not part of it, because they were not even going to write it inside their books. So the money that they were taking was going to go literally into their pockets. So we were like, no, we are not paying anything extra. And then when we get to the border, we get to the border, people are like confused cockroaches. They don't even know what they are doing. They are just all over the place, and we can't leave before they clear out the bus. So they were still using the old border before the new one. So we had to wait, and I had to call my dad to come and pick me up. And I think it was in the early hours of the morning when he had to come and pick me up, because they were not even finishing whatever that they were doing. They were just all over the place and nothing was moving. So I was like, you know what, let me just go home, because I don't even have a lot of things inside this bus. But I really regretted the whole experience, because first of all, people tend to say you are going to pay this amount, and then later on they charge you an extra amount of money, which is not something that you would have calculated. I feel like the bus services should actually have a ticket that is pre-done, like, I don't know if it makes sense, so that we don't have to pay for extra costs during our rides. And also the whole traveling experience, it has to be convenient for the passengers. Maybe it's because the buses were cheaper. Maybe the buses like Greyhound and all those other types of buses, they really offer good services. Yet to experience traveling with those other buses, but really I really want to get to experience a good bus service, because that one, it was not it. I'm going to tell you about my other experience with the other buses, but that one, it was not the same as this one. That one was actually quite good. So I'll let you know in part two. Comment if you want to hear more stories about these bus services, because and also let me know in the comments what you think. What was your experience with the bus services? How did it go for you? And what do you recommend? Which buses do you recommend?